What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith, and this was a 12-rounder in the middleweight division. And this fight was Saturday, January 21st, from the Manchester Arena in Manchester, England. And this fight was broadcasted on DAZN. And in this fight, Liam Smith got the absolute thriller in a finish. He stopped Chris Eubank Jr. in the fourth round, knocking him out, putting him on spaghetti legs. I mean, this was a fantastic win for Liam Smith. This was an absolute shocker. It was either going to be, or most people, myself included, were picking Chris Eubank Jr. to win this fight on points, or they were either picking Liam Smith to win on points. I mean, there wasn't really anyone picking stoppage because both these guys are known for having pretty good chins. But, Liam Smith to knock out Chris Eubank Jr. like that, and I'll describe, obviously, how it happened, but this was just a phenomenal win for Liam Smith. Simply sensational. But leading up to the stoppage, this bout scored 30-27 in favor of Chris Eubank Jr. I know that the unofficial scorecards on DAZN, it was a little bit closer. I think they had it even, actually, but I don't really think it was after 3 rounds. I thought that Eubank had the better work, but just to break it down round by round, round number 1 was a close round. Could have went either way, in my opinion. That was one of the closer rounds of the first 3. I think the closest of the first 3. But Eubank Jr., I thought, had better jabs on the outside. Liam Smith was really rugged, trying to land big shots on Eubank Jr., but Eubank Jr. stayed composed in the first round, and I thought he had better jabs. Then in round number 2, Smith again was really rough in there. He was trying to rough up Eubank Jr. on the ropes, would dig his forearm into his face on the ropes, really trying to impose his strength on Chris Eubank Jr. And I forgot to mention that Liam Smith did move up in weight for this fight. He's normally campaigns at 154 pounds. He's top 10 at 154, and Eubank Jr. is top 10 at 160. But yeah, in that second round, I just thought that Eubank Jr. had the cleaner work on the outside with the jabs. He was just landing some better shots, I think, overall than Smith. Smith was able to land some nice overhand rights over the guard, but primarily the better work on the outside was from Eubank Jr., in my opinion. Then in the third round, this was a very entertaining round. Earlier on, it looked like it was a bit more in favor of Liam Smith coming forward with his big power shots, but as the round went on, Chris Eubank Jr. started to jab more, and then in the last minute of the round, he went off. He was throwing big uppercut combinations on Liam Smith, and he clearly won the round in the end with those uppercut combinations. They were landing flush on Smith through the guard. But then in round number 4, it was a very similar round to all the others we saw, with Eubank Jr. jabbing on the outside, but then all of a sudden Liam Smith sprung forward whilst Chris Eubank Jr. was sort of making his way against the ropes. He was just backing up in the corner, and then Liam Smith jumped on him and threw like a 5-punch combination that dropped Eubank Jr. He was dropped on his back in the corner after a barrage from Smith. When he got up, his legs were all over the place. I mean, the referee could have stopped it then and there. He was wobbling. He didn't know where he was. He was disoriented, and for some reason, I think the ref actually could have stopped it. He let it continue. So then Chris Eubank Jr. went back out there on spaghetti legs. Liam Smith threw another combination that, it didn't even look like it landed flush, but since Eubank Jr.'s legs were so gone, he just went down again, and the referee waved it off. So this was an absolute thriller of a stoppage win for Liam Smith. Comment down below your thoughts on this fight. I think it was a crazy win. And for anyone, I'm sure that any bettors out there that bet money on Smith to win by KO got a lot. I don't really know the exact odds on it, but I'm sure they weren't really that. I'm sure that there weren't big odds for Eubank Jr. to get stopped in this one, because he's known for having such a good chin. I don't even think he's ever been dropped in his career, as far as I know. I'm sure he could have been earlier on or something that I don't know of, but I'm pretty sure, from my knowledge, he's never been dropped in his pro career. But yeah, this goes into the question, what is next for Liam Smith? This was a phenomenal win for him. I think this could actually be the best win of his career thus far. knocking out a top 10 middleweight in under 4 rounds completed. I mean, I honestly don't know what could be next for him. I don't think they're going to do a rematch. I mean, that's kind of stupid considering he knocked him out just like how he did. But, yeah, I mean, Smith competes at 154 pounds, so we could see Smith fight for a final eliminator. I mean, just before this, he fought on another Sky Sports card and stopped Hassan Muakinyo. But yeah, coming off 2 solid wins, one being over a top 10 fighter who he wasn't really expected to win. I mean, it's just a great win for him. So I think that Liam Smith could be in line for a world title fight at 154 pounds, depending on how things go with the undisputed titles and all that Jermell Charlo does have. Like, we could even possibly see him fight for an interim title in his next fight for an eliminator, final eliminator, whatever. But I definitely think Liam Smith should get a massive opportunity in his next fight based on the fact that he knocked out Chris Eubank Jr. But as for Eubank Jr. losing here for I think it's the 3rd time of his career now. This was the first ever stoppage win or stoppage loss he's gotten. And this was a tough one. Legs were all over the place. But for him, I think he's going to have to bounce back, and I don't think he's going to have to face someone that's in the top 10, top 15, or whatever. I think he's going to have to just slow the roll a bit, beat a guy who's like top 30, and continue just building himself back up into main event status, and beating decent guys who are top 15, top 10 rated, because this was a very tough loss that he has to rebound from smartly. He can't just jump back into a fight against a guy with good power, because who knows, what if his chin's not there, he could get stopped. So he has to slow the roll, fight some guys who aren't that highly ranked, get some solid wins, and just build himself back up. So overall, Liam Smith upsets Chris Eubank Jr., knocking him out in the 4th round to get the best victory of his career thus far. And again, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.